Okay, so good morning, everyone. We'll begin with the reflections on universal well-being. May I abide in well-being, in freedom from affliction, in freedom from hostility, in freedom from ill will, in freedom from anxiety, and may I maintain well-being in myself. May everyone abide in well-being, in freedom from hostility, in freedom from ill will, in freedom from anxiety, and may they maintain well-being in themselves. May all be released from all suffering, and may they not be parted from the good fortune they have attained. When they act upon intention, all beings are the owners of their action and inherit its results. Their future is born from such action, companion to such action, and the result will be their home. All actions with intention, be they skillful or harmful, of such acts they will be the heirs. Good morning, everyone. We'll continue to read from Acharya Mun's biography, and I'll continue where I left off yesterday, which was that Acharya Mun was facing a fearsome spirit. And after Acharya Mun scolded the spirit for threatening him and hurting other living beings, the spirit actually repented and took refuge, vowing to become Acharya Mun's Dharma protector. And this was in a place called Sarika Cave, where he stayed a number of years. So as he was staying in this cave, one afternoon he went outside. And what did he come across? A large troop of monkeys came. They were foraging for food in front of the cave. The leader of the troop arrived first, a good distance in front of the rest. Reaching the area in front of the cave, is spotted Acharya Mun, who sat very still with his eyes open, glancing silently at the approaching monkey. So Acharya Mun left inside the cave, went outside to get some fresh air, meditating there, or just sitting there, and a whole troop of monkeys show up, with the lead monkey out, scoping things out. The monkey immediately became suspicious of his presence. Nervous, worried about the safety of its troop, it ran back and forth along the branch of a tree, looking warily at him. Acharya Mun understood its anxiety and sympathized with it, sending out benevolent thoughts of loving kindness. I've come here to practice the Dhamma, not to mistreat or harm anyone, so there is no need to fear me. Keep searching for food as you please. You can come foraging around here every day if you like. Acharya Mun sends this as a wholesome thought, this caring intention to the monkey, saying, I'm harmless. Please search for your food. Do as you wish. In a flash, the lead monkey ran back to his troop, which Acharya Mun could see approaching in the distance. He watched what happened next with a sense of amusement, combined with sincere compassion. As soon as the leader reached the others, it quickly called out, "Gawk, gawk." I don't know how the monkeys make noise. Anyways. Hey, not so fast. There's something over there. It may be dangerous. Hearing this, all the other monkeys began asking at once, "Kok, kok." Where? And simultaneously, the leader turned his head towards Acharya Mun's direction as if to say, "Sitting over there, can you see?" Or something like that. But in the language of animals, which is an unfathomable mystery to most humans. Acharya Mun, however, understood every word they spoke. Once it had signaled Acharya Mun's presence to the group, the lead monkey warned them to proceed slowly and cautiously until they could determine exactly what was up ahead. It then hurried off ahead of the group, rarely approaching the front of the cave where Acharya Mun was seated. Being concerned for the safety of those following behind, it was apprehensive, but also too curious to find out what was there. It cautiously snuck up close to Acharya Mun, jumping up and jumping down from branch to branch, as monkeys tend to do, for they are quite restless, as everybody knows. The lead monkey watched Acharya Mun constantly until it was sure that he posed no danger. Then it ran back and informed its friends, "Kok, we can go. Kok, there is no danger." During this time, Acharya Mun was sat perfectly still, constantly gauging the lead monkey's inner feelings to judge its reaction to him. And then it goes on a number of times. That's a kind of a repeat. So they determined that Acharya Mun is basically not dangerous, so they all come. So there's no need to be afraid of him. So the whole troop moved forward until it reached a spot where Acharya Mun was seated, all of them cautiously peering at him in a way that signaled their continuing mistrust, as monkeys tend to do when their curiosity is aroused. The troop was jumping about through the trees. The kok sounds, kok sounds of their queries echo throughout the forest. What is it? What's it doing here? The sound of their replies reverberated in agitated tones of animals needing to find out what's going on. Acharya Mun would say that these wild monkeys tend to panic when sensing danger because for ages human beings have used various brutal methods to kill these animals in countless numbers. So monkeys are instinctively very distrustful of people. The flow of an animal's consciousness infuses the different sounds it makes with the appropriate meaning, just as human verbal expressions are determined by the flow of human consciousness. So it's just as easy for monkeys to understand the meaning of their common sounds as for people to understand the same language. Each sound that issues from an animal's flow of consciousness is attuned to a specific meaning and purpose. These sounds communicate a clear message, and those who are listening invariably comprehend their precise meaning. So even though it has no discernible meaning for humans, when monkeys emit a sound like "ok," they all understand its intended meaning, since this is the language monkeys use to communicate. Much the same applies to people of different nationalities, each speaking their own native language. Just as most nations around the world have their own specific language, so too, each species of animal has its own distinct means of communication. Where animals and humans can comprehend each other ceases to be an issue when we accept that each group has the prerogative to decide on the parameters of its speech and the manner in which it is conducted. So finally, after overcoming their fears, the monkeys roamed freely in their area around the cave, foraging for food as they pleased. No longer were they on their guard, wary of threat of danger. From that day on, they felt right at home, showing no interest in Acharya Mun, and he paid no special attention to them, as he and they both went about their daily lives. Acharya Mun said that all the animals foraging for food in the area where he lived did so contentedly, without fear. Ordinarily, animals of all kinds feel comfortable living in places where monks have taken up residence, for animals are quite similar to human beings in emotion. They simply lack the same predominant authority and intelligence that humans possess. Their level of intelligence extends only to the task of searching for food and finding a place to hide in order to survive from day to day. So we're here in the forest, and I don't think we see any monkeys. Maybe some of us are monkeys, just running around with restless minds. We watch our restless minds, our monkey minds. But I think Acharya Mun's experience with the monkeys and with the animals is something that I've also been privy to in the monasteries that I've been in, which as the animals learn to live in harmony with humans, to lose their fear. Remember at the 16,000 Buddhas, and you watch the peacocks walk around the campus, and you can definitely see they're right at home. Then people drive their cars, and they stop, and the peacock just slowly walks, looks at the car, and keeps walking. Or maybe just stops there. So this is my road. And the deer come, and they generally are very peaceful, knowing that on this land, this is a sanctuary where human beings do not harm animals. And just this visit to River Vihara, we had an interesting experience. One of the men found a mouse in his room under the bed. And he went there and says, uh-oh. So he thought, I'm going to take it outside. It was in a drawer. But after he took it outside, he thought, wait a moment, it looked like maybe that was a mom mouse that had some babies. If I leave her outside, then maybe the babies will not have food or be too cold. So he thought, okay, I better bring it back inside. He brings the drawer back inside, and says, now what to do? He talked to me about it. But later he shared that actually over these months in the monastery, his attitude towards the animals have changed, where he has a lot more kindness and equanimity. And his sense of self, always being at the center, has diminished. Before it would be, this mouse is invading my room, I need to get him out. But he reflected, no, in fact, this mouse is at home. In fact, they might be more at home here than we are. We often come and go. They're here all the time. They've probably been in this forest for generations. So in fact, we're visitors. And in fact, this is their home. And it's actually a very simple reflection. Nothing you could say very profound. But I think it's actually in those little tiny shifts that real transformations occur. Imagine if human beings, we just shifted our perspective, rather than seeing ourselves at the center and everything that comes into our space as threatening or potential disturbances or annoyances, but to really respect every living being, that each has their home, each has their needs. And as much as possible, we can live in harmony with them, with care and support. How much less suffering would there be for us as humans and for the animal world? So that's something I really hope for in the forest, and also something that I wish to also develop, because for sure, through the years, just growing up in suburbia and in cities, my relationship to the natural world and to animals is mostly outside. I'm in this protected environment that's got climate control, man-made materials all around. And anything that comes inside feels like it's a disturbance to me. But if I were just to shift my perspective and see, I'm a part of nature, not a part from nature. And then all of a sudden I'm interconnected, part of this greater web. And so that's something I feel is really a wonderful opportunity here in the forest that we can cultivate. And it just takes a tiny shift in perspective. And who knows, maybe don't have time for the story now, but our neighbors who've been staying here for a while, I can see are starting to be able to understand the animals. They can start to tune into the intentions and needs of the animals, and it's quite fascinating to hear their experiences. Okay, so for those online, if you don't have the forest nearby, maybe what we can at least do is see if we can just change our perspective a little bit today and see the world from the eyes and hearts of those around us. Okay, Amitofo. Let's do 3 steps, 1 bow.